Imagine discovering a plot hole so massive, it collapses the destruction entire universe. Let's dissect the scene that broke the internet. Friends, today's movie explanation is based on a real-life event that took place in 2004, when a devastating tsunami struck Thailand. Among the 270,000 people affected was a man named Henry and his family. This story revolves around how that family survived the disaster, and you'll know the complete outcome by the end. The movie begins with a family heading to Thailand to spend their Christmas vacation and make beautiful memories. The family consists of Dr. Maria, her husband Henry, and their 3 sons, Lucas, Thomas, and Simon. During the flight, Maria appears anxious as the plane lands, prompting Lucas to tease her. Soon after, the family arrives at a stunning resort situated right beside the Indian Ocean. The view is breathtaking, but the next day is Christmas. Henry brings gifts for all 3 of his kids, making them extremely happy. Together, they head to the beach to enjoy the day. Henry plays joyfully with his sons, and the family spends 2 cheerful days in paradise. On the 3rd day, everything begins normally. Maria sits down with a book, but a sudden gust of wind blows a page away, which sticks to a nearby glass wall. As she walks toward it, she senses an earthquake. Birds begin flying chaotically, hinting that something is about to go wrong. Before she can react, a massive wave crashes through, breaking trees and turning into a horrifying tsunami. To Henry is with Thomas and Simon, while Maria and Lucas are elsewhere. Everyone is caught in the devastation. We soon see Maria clinging to a tree, and she hears Lucas's voice. He is being swept away. Without hesitation, Maria jumps into the rushing waters to save him, hitting a tree and injuring herself in the process. Despite the injuries, she bravely uses a floating mattress to reach Lucas, but the strong current keeps pulling them apart as more monstrous waves follow. Maria barely manages to survive the powerful current, but Lucas is swept further away. Soon, he too is caught in more waves and is struck by debris, injuring him badly. Somehow, he finds a moment to rest, and just then, he spots Maria floating nearby among the wreckage, bleeding and weak. Lucas rushes to her and hugs her tightly. The 2 manage to move together, using a tree for support. Eventually, they reach a field where the water level is low. Lucas notices Maria's leg is severely wounded and bleeding heavily. They push forward and come across an area where the tsunami water has mostly receded. Suddenly, Lucas hears the cries of a child nearby. He wants to help, but Maria, already grieving the loss of her husband and 2 sons, pleads with him not to go. Lucas refuses to listen. He rescues the child, places him on his back, and climbs a tree. Then he helps his injured mother climb as well, so rescuers can spot them from afar. Soon, local villagers arrive, searching for survivors. They notice Lucas and the 2 others in the tree and help them down. Maria's injuries are critical, so they rush her to a hospital, with Lucas accompanying her. On the way, Lucas sees many people along the road, tsunami survivors, all in terrible condition. The hospital itself is overwhelmed, packed with injured victims. Inside the hospital, Maria's condition worsens. She begins shivering and asks Lucas to find antibiotics. Lucas searches desperately, but before he can return, a doctor gives Maria an injection and begins dressing her wounds. She's moved with the other patients, but her condition continues to deteriorate. She starts vomiting due to contaminated water entering her stomach during the tsunami. Meanwhile, a man arrives at the hospital searching for his family. He holds up a photo and calls out their names. Seeing this, Maria urges Lucas to help him. Lucas checks the photo and realizes many families have been separated like his. He decides to help reunite others, writing down patients' names, countries, and contact details. Soon, Lucas spots the same child he rescued earlier, now reunited with his father, just like the photo showed. Watching them embrace brings back memories of his dad. When Lucas returns to the ward, he's shocked to find another woman in his mother's place. He panics and begins crying. A nurse approaches and asks him why he's upset. Lucas explains, and she takes him to a different ward filled with children who've been separated from their parents. She places a sticker with a number on Lucas's shirt, just like the ones all the other children where Lucas fears the worst, that his mother may no longer be alive. Meanwhile, back at the resort, Henry is still alive. He searches desperately for his family, but finds no sign. Rescue teams arrive and begin evacuating survivors. Henry refuses to leave, determined to keep searching. Eventually, he finds Thomas and Simon and sends them to safety, choosing to stay behind and continue the search later. Henry is injured and collapses on the road. He is taken to a medical camp by some locals, where he meets a man named Carl who has also lost his entire family. They bond over their shared loss. Carl lends Henry his phone so he can call his father and inform him about the tragedy. Henry vows to bring his family back home. If he can find them back in the hospital, a nurse shows Lucas some belongings, asking if they belong to his mother. Lucas says no. She then leads him to a private ward, and there lies Maria in critical condition. Lucas learned she was moved because she needed surgery, but due to a mix-up, no one had informed him. Maria still needs another operation, and her survival isn't guaranteed. Meanwhile, Henry and Carl are visiting hospitals and camps in search of their families, but with no luck. Eventually, Henry reaches the very hospital where Maria is admitted. Maria asks Lucas to get water, and as he leaves, Henry arrives, but they narrowly miss each other. Henry looks behind the curtain where Maria lies, but doesn't recognize her and walks away. Lucas returns, and in the chaos, they all miss seeing each other again. Soon after, the rescued children are brought in, including Thomas and Simon, but Lucas doesn't spot them. They're taken away in another truck. Henry boards another truck too, and once again, the entire family is inches from reunion, but still separated. In frustration, Lucas yells out for his father. Hearing his voice, Thomas and Simon rush off the truck and run to him. Henry, too, hears and joins them. At long last, the family is reunited. They hug, overwhelmed with relief and emotion. Carl watches them, heartbroken that his family is still missing. Henry then visits Maria, who believes she won't survive. But he reassures her, and she's taken into surgery. In the same ward, another woman who just had surgery says she had saved all her strength just to see her family one last time. Maria's operation is successful. Henry tells Lucas that his mom is going to be okay and that they'll be flying home the next day. As the family boards the plane, Lucas tells his mother he'll always stay with her. He also shares that the boy he rescued earlier has been reunited with his family. Maria, moved with pride, tells Lucas how proud she is of him. Meanwhile, Henry quietly prays for Carl, whose family still hasn't been found. And with that, the movie concludes. Agree? Disagree? Let's start a comment civil war. And if you're obsessed with hidden movie secrets, smash that bell. Our next video might ruin your childhood. Thanks for watching.